From here, got enough to go on. Assuming I can find some scissors, which I've got right here. Handy dandy. I love my garage. One other thing, you want to make a stitch allowance, okay? Because this is right up against the muzzle. So you want to decide how far beyond the muzzle you want it to go. Now, on the original purpose for this, you can see that I allowed quite a bit. So on the muzzle, I'm going to allow about 3/4 of an inch. And around the edges, you want to allow about 1/4 of an inch for the stitching. You do have to glue it. We'll come into that when we get to that stage. But I'm going to draw the line here. In this case, about 3/4 of an inch. Now, normally I would use, and I can always trim that later. Normally I would use a compass for this, but I'm just going to do it freehand. Of course, when the time comes, I'll probably make a lot of revisions on it. See how it's pretty consistently 1/4 of an inch, allowing for the stitches. Right up here. And I can let that meld to my line, because this I want to be the true line. Okay? And I can do the same on this side. Bring it up and around, over. And actually, just had a thought, I have to allow for the sweat guard. So, I'm going to lay it back in here, and I'm going to be a bit more generous with this and have it come up and contour up by about 2 inches, and have it melt and have it come back down to about 1/4 of an inch from the rear side. Actually, right up to, and then from here, carry it over, and this side, I want this to go right up to the rear side, like that, and I'm going to give it an extra 1/4 inch starting about here. Okay, so with these, I'm going to use this as my guide on this side, and then I'm going to trim it back on that side. So, this is where you cut. Okay, and then from there, it does match up. So now, I'm going to use this side as my guide, kind of ignoring this side, because this is the contour to the body side. And this is where it's going to be different from this side, because it's not going to have that flare. So I can just follow this in to. Now here's why I made a mistake on the last one that I made. Not this one, but another one that I was patterning. I made a sharp angle here, but this time, learn my lesson, I'm going to kind of smooth it out. Okay, let's see how that fits. So we've got this here, lay it in there, wrap it around, and this is where the stitching will take place. This is taking up too much space. I'm not happy with it. I think I'm going to scoop it out a little bit there. So I want to, where was it? Kind of scoopy action here, like that. Okay, and cut there. That'll work. So we've got that here, and this is going to be the shape of it. Okay. We've got this against the body. This is where the belt clip is going to be. It's going to be down here at an angle. Okay. So what I could do here, if I wanted, is just sort of pre-measure the angle that I would want it to be at. So from there, lay it in. See how it fits. That's about right to grab, maybe up a little bit. But then that's one of the finer adjustments that I can make later on. This is just a general feel. And that should do it, just for the body. Okay. Now, there's also the question of the reinforcement, the mouth reinforcement. Okay. For that, I figured out a trick. You go here, and you trace the outline of the top portion, everything that you would want to include in the mouth reinforcement. So I'm going to be generous here and trace this entire outline here. Like that. Okay. And that leaves me with this contour. And this is where it gets a little bit artistic. This, I don't need that much. Okay. Let me use this as an example here. Okay. So it really only needs to come down to about here. Let's lay this in again. See where I want that reinforcement. That reinforcement I really only want in the upper area. So from here, I don't need all that, right around there. So I'm going to mark this spot here and this spot here. Okay, so those are my two endpoints, and I like to make kind of a graceful curve to it. And I want it to be curved, and then sweep down like that. Okay, and we cut that, and this will be the pattern for the reinforcement. Okay, so this is the mouth reinforcement. It goes right there. Okay, and see how it matches? Okay, it took me a while to figure out that reverse alignment there. But now I have this. These two pieces are going to be enough for me to get started and actually cut the pattern out of leather. That's going to be another episode. And we go here. The net effect is going to be it closes here like this. It's got the mouth reinforcer here, and it just lays over there like that. Okay, so that's going to provide extra strength and rigidity. It's going to be able to help hold the mouth open like that. Okay, so that's the first step. Oh, and the clip, I'll figure that out later, where to attach the clip. And that's the first stage of cutting the pattern for your holster. You do it out on paper first, and then you just take these shapes, trace them out onto your leather, cut it, stitch it, and make your holster.